Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Go ahead.
Ready?
Yep.
Now this is how it started. My dreams are Whatever people say, don't play those games.
Give me the house move. You all right Welcome to On the Scene. I'm your girl, Racheal J. Y'all having fun? Lighting up on the scene. We are here with the talented, oh my, legend. We are so honored to have you here, Mr. Farley Jackmaster Funk. Yes, the king of house.
I'm ready to say now you left something out now. You ain't Farley, you gotta put the king in there. Now we full.
You know, we gotta break it up a little bit.
I got
You're
a
a
whole
little too
name.
much.
I got a whole name.
Okay?
Yeah.
We gotta break you up a little bit,
Yeah.
okay? You gotta digest you a little bit at a
Yeah,
time.
that's true. That's my wife. She know about digesting stuff.
Hey! So we're definitely honored to have you here with us tonight. Thank you so much.
Yes.
We appreciate you. And so for me, I'm an Oklahoma native.
Okay.
So when I came here to Chicago and came to my first house party, I was just looking around like, what is wrong with these people? I thought it was cold. I thought somebody was going to take me to a back room and make me start worshiping some type of little dog. Why is everybody doing like this? What the hell is really going on? Then I just felt something in my body, and I was like, oh my God, oh man, I'm doing like this. You know.
And your mom and dad, they say, what's wrong with you?
Like, what the hell wrong with you, girl?
Like that for you
wasn't dancing like that before you came to Chicago. So for all of those who don't really know what house music is, go on and break it down.
Well, house music, as I put it, is the bastard child of disco. We fragmented sounds from disco, just like hip hop took sounds from James Brown, and they created a form of music. So we did the same thing with house music. We took sounds and stuff, and we came into the electronic world of things because the drum machines were out at that time for us. So now we didn't have to have musicians, and a lot of us who was not musically trained, we played by ear and made tracks of our own.
Wow. That is beautiful. So how do you feel about the culture of house music? Because you've been out since the 80s. You've been...
Now you see, she done made me old.
I'm putting you all out there.
Painted me.
Look, he even got the chest hairs, color. Look at me all hanging out blue.
You know what I'm saying?
Stop playing. We with the
that has its purposes. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
But see, the thing about us black folks is black don't crack.
So
now you got to find out how old I am, if I color the hairs. But if I leave the color hairs great, then you know. You see what I'm saying? So ladies, when you do your roots, get the front. Don't have your wig all black, blue black, and in the front you got gray hairs. Hey, look here. Take a toothbrush. A man ain't both on it. Take a toothbrush. Or you get a Q-tip swab. And you just dab them. You see what I'm saying?
Go on, tell me.
I'm going to bring you up to date. The king do this kind of thing.
Okay,
I'm
the king.
I got more than one job. I was Jamaican for 2 weeks, so I got 14 jobs. I had 14 jobs.
Oh my goodness. So how do you feel, what do you feel has changed about house music? Do you, the house music that we have today, do you feel like it represents, the foundation of how it was started, whenever you got it started?
No, it doesn't represent the foundation, but it's everything in the world that evolves.
Right.
And so why not let house music evolve without prejudice? I could be mad about it and say, what are y'all doing? But hey, the world gonna go on without Farley anyway.
True.
I mean, Aretha Franklin's gone right now. Somebody's imitating her today, right now, making money. So I mean, the bottom line is to it is what you do is you evolve.
Right.
And if you can't evolve, then you just stay where you are and hope that people can still enjoy what you do if you don't evolve. Old school is big, but at the same time, just the ordinary day, that ain't old school, okay?
Right.
But the old school love that new song.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So we evolve here and there if the people, if they stay in contact with the music. Like a lot of times, some people come to the parties who are old school and say, "What is he playing?" That's because they don't go out enough to keep up with the music, and they want me to stay pigeonholed into a corner. And so my rooms a lot of times can be weird because you'll get people sometimes, and I'm saying this because I want y'all to understand, because don't bring your ass to no more parties I do if you don't understand. So my rooms are a melting pot. So now I got the old school in the room. Then I got some new school people in the room. I play the music to the majority that's in the room. So somebody's gonna be pissed off. So if it's all new school people, I ain't playing no old music because I gotta play to the biggest crowd in the room. If it's all old school in the room, I'm gonna play to the old school, and the young people gonna be pissed off. I can't do both because you gotta make the biggest crowd of people enjoy themselves. So now make sure that this goes viral and send this to everybody you know. Now you will know why I can't play the two people in two different age groups in the room. This is the first time I've ever said this before.
Well, hey, you heard it first. On the scene, baby. We keeps it real. So don't come up in there unless you bring about 100 people with you. Tell us to play that old track from the 80s. Nah! We're getting some of that new juice here. So do we have any questions for the king of house?
Yeah, I got a question. Outside of, we all know that Frankie Knuckles, Godfather of the house, we know he's probably an influence on you.
No.
So who would be some of your influences outside of the Chicago area?
Well, Kenny, Jam, and Jason, who was on a station called Disco WDAI. When I was a kid, and I used to go across the street and watch this guy's car because I knew what time his mix would come on the radio, and I used to steal his car and then bring it back and be washed. I would steal his car before school got out and go front up in my school calumet and be leaning in this Delta 88 like it's mine. They'd be like, "Man, Farley got a car." I had to get that car back clean back in front of that house when he got the window and say, "Where's my car?" So I listened to Kenny a lot on the radio. At the time when Frankie Knuckles came in, Frankie Knuckles played in a predominantly gay club at that time. And as we growing up in the young days of that time, that was a different era of separation, okay? Straights didn't party with gays then, so you would never found me at that club. I was on the south side, a little thugged out, you know what I'm saying? And so it didn't mix at that time. As time went on, things began to be a thing where it wasn't a big deal, and now we can all party together without prejudice, okay? But just like you mentioned to me earlier about Larry Levan. So it's kind of hard due to the press, and I really mean this, and I sincerely hope not to piss anybody off, and my wife is over there, like if she had a wrong issue, she'd kick me right now, because she tries to get me off of this subject. But the only time that I can bring these kind of truths to, because you say this is the scene, this is about being real, is that back in the day, when you had the Chicago Sun-Times, and you had different magazines, if a brother or a sister was on the down low, you couldn't tell anybody that you were gay. You could not do it. Now, if that gay person was partying with Frankie, he wrote about Frankie Knuckles. They didn't come to the heterosexual clubs, they were in the gay community. So a lot of your early stuff that you see in the press about these DJs and not us was because they didn't party with us. They partied with them, like Larry Levan, for instance, gay DJ. Man, they wasn't gonna go party with David Morales around the corner and he heterosexual. They wanted to keep with their community. You see what I'm saying? It was a tight community. So anybody that was impressed, because they stuck together, it was a family. Whatever they did whatever they had to do to push that agenda out there. And if it was through music or whatever it was, it got pushed out there. So meanwhile, people like myself and Kenny Jason and other people, when you look at the things that they've had downtown, and if you visit the little displays they've had, you'll look up there and you go like, hey, I thought Farley should have been, I'm not even in them. Kenny's not in them, none of us ain't in them. But if you look at them, you say Ron Hardy, you say Frankie Knuckles, man, get out of here, man. Everybody grew up listening to house music on the radio. Most people were not old enough to go to those clubs. I don't care if you were gay, you couldn't get in those clubs unless you were 21. Okay? So if you was a kid and you was 14 years old, you turned on the radio and it was BMX, okay, GCI, and those people recorded the mixes and took those mixes to colleges and schools with them. The people who DJ'd in those clubs did not make cassette tapes to give to people to take anywhere. So all that predominantly came from the radio. Now when you speak about the early influence about house music, we didn't come up with the term house music and make actual house records to 1984, 85. In the early days, we played old records, and they called them house records. But actual records that got made by anybody, Jesse Saunders made the very first house record in 1984. Okay? So anything deemed before that was not house music, you see. So now that credit that goes, and then the other part too, and me and Frankie became very good friends, but it was other people that kept us apart, you know, because they didn't want to see this friendship happen, okay? Because everybody has their own fans. There are people in the ear saying you shouldn't talk to him, you shouldn't do this because he's the man, you the man, all this old crazy stuff that jealousy goes through every community, not just a black community, white, gay, whatever, it goes through every community. And a lot of times the devil finds his way in through jealousy, and we can't get anywhere, okay? Women can't be, I'm gonna go somewhere else. Women can't be friends with each other, some women, because your hair's a little bit longer than mine. Right. Girl, did you see her coming here and her hair? What you even talking about that for? Right. So it's the same thing musically. I tell you, like, if you ever had a dentist work on your teeth, and you couldn't get to your dentist, and you went to another dentist, and he worked on your tooth, when you got back to your dentist, who you had in your mouth?
Right. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So everything in the world becomes a competition. If you're driving on the expressway, okay, another car pull up in front of you, you don't even know that you created competition. You're going to get back in front of that car, am I right?
That's right.
Yes.
We do it all the time. We do it all the time. The
Absolutely.
world is a very competitive place, and everything I do now, this is such a lovely thing coming here, meeting all these great people. I'm going to work with him, doing some printing with you guys. Let's get that on board.
I just want to say this.
It's awesome.
I just want to say this. I've been in a lot of places. I've been in a lot of cities, and I went to
clubs.
And every time I went, you was always played. When I said house music, you turn it up. You changed cities. You changed the world. Yes. And I just want to thank you.
Woo! I truly accept that, and all that is the glory that belongs to God, because God is the one who gives the increase to anything that we do. Yeah. And that's why I was getting ready to say, you know, I'm so glad to meet you guys, because I got other companies do my printing. Hey, brother, we finna hug up.
That's right.
Okay,
That's
do our printing, let's do this.
That's right.
What's your drive? What's your drive?
What's my drive?
Keep going.
Love.
My drive is, my wife love to eat lobster. I've been trying to give her Burger King and stuff, man, and she be like, you gonna pass by, boy. Then she looking out the window. So, no, it's the good life, man. Everybody in life wants that good life, and at the same time that you want it, when God allows you to be a leader and you know you're a leader, you operate as being a leader. I can't be a follower. It's impossible for me to follow. The only way I can follow is I follow to learn. And after I learn, I'm going to jump back in front and be the leader again after I've learned. Okay? So a lot of young cats who come into the industry got technique out of this world, and I don't have that technique they have. Okay? I don't have the same drive as a young person have because it's new to them. I've done it. I take things for granted. Forgive me, Lord, but I take things for granted because I'm there already. My name's made. Okay? So I'm not in there, they try to DJ practicing. I'm not doing that because I live off some of those laurels. So when I meet a young guy, I cuff him, and then I learn from him, and then I try to bring him up. And at the same time that I learn from him, I'm able to take what he got with the wisdom that I have and create something even bigger. So always, if you're older, get somebody young around you. Don't despise the young.
Right.
Learn from the young, because remember, when we were all young, we created house music.
Yes.
And everybody in this room is just that love house music that was in the beginning is just as much responsible for it as me, because you cannot do anything by yourself. You don't. This show here.
Right.
If you don't have a fan base, you don't have a show.
Right.
I can't do anything without a fan base. And if people that like my music, then why we need to hear Farley? So I say a lot of times that, and I hope I'm gonna put a seed in you that, in you guys, that interview some dancers. They deserve so much credit for taking their mama and daddy money and coming to the party. 14, 15 years old. Mama, I need $20 to go to the party. Boy, you ain't getting no $20. And where you at? And they snuck out the window, the door, and everything else, and were down to the party with me, you see?
Yes.
So, yeah, you'll hear that story a lot throughout Chicago.
Oh, you was at one?
Yeah, you hear that a lot throughout Chicago.
Oh, my goodness. Anything else from my co-host?
He answered everything that I was going to say, because everybody he kept talking about it. But what can you say to the youngsters that's out here trying and doing what you've been doing, that I grew up on, and just, hey, being from Chicago?
Well, I would say first off, we got to respect everybody's genre. The kids love trap music. You know, that's their thing. It speaks the language to them that they understand. Like, our parents didn't understand us dancing off house music. My dad would like, turn that music off. Just boom, boom, boom. My grandmother lived below me. What is that that's going buggity, 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 buggity? You know, and she didn't want to hear none of that. And it's throbbing through her roof downstairs. So you kind of got to move with your genre. And then if you can speak to another genre, you move with the other genre. If those young people can move from their genre and go back a genre and make some house music, then they can put a new spin on it. And when they put that new spin from their sound with it, we have a whole new element. We have a whole new fan base. And house music never was violent. And if I was to speak to the youth and say anything, I would say, try to get into another genre. If your genre is all thugged out, you can't walk down the street. We in Chicago right now. We not only do we need to put on the full armor of God, we need to put on the full armor. Because who knows when the next person just walking down the street innocently will be taken because there's a stray bullet coming. You know, it's such a sad thing that we live here, but God got us all in a position where each one teach one.
Right.
So when we see somebody young, we can cuff a youth. A lot of times we so fast to walk past the youth, but ladies, more than anybody, y'all hold the key because y'all the ones that can grab a young boy and hug him where he's not getting love at home. And he feel that just through one hug and somebody taking 1 minute to say, how's your day going? A lot of times with us, they get chesty and, wow, what you talking about? You know, a woman can come into a fight with two guys fighting, go like, baby, y'all don't be out here fighting. And they be like, hold me back, hold me back. See, he said something about my mama, but they ain't fighting no more. Yep. Let one of us get in the middle try to stop it. Yep. We might get stolen on trying to stop it. So women are the key to a whole lot of things that speaks very softly. What does the word of God say about a soft word and then okay, right. It turns away wrath. See, when we come in, our words don't sound like it because already they're looking at it. So it's visual when we speak to that. So it's really sad. Edit.
What is it?
One more. How do people accept you being the king, the godfather of house music?
Well, in the early days of me being the first godfather, the reason why I changed it because people called me king, but I said when I gave my life to Christ, I didn't want to be called God anything. I am not a God in any kind of way. The only God, I'm a child of God. I cannot be a God of anything, okay? I can be a creator of something that God puts in my spirit to do, but I cannot be a God. So it was so important to me to get that disparity off me. You know, I'm one of them weird people that if you didn't know me, you would think I wasn't saved and that I was of the world. You wouldn't know because the way God gave me my ministry, he wanted me to be able to walk up to people and be able to speak to situations to people without running them away. Okay? So if I can't walk up to somebody and be able to testify to them because I look like a preacher, well, you know the Lord said, hey, I got to get tithes and offerings. Well, hold up a minute. Can you tell me about God before you ask for money first? You see what I'm saying? Who's going to tell them about God first? They already looking at, I'm going to get this money. Okay, but money has its place. But the most important part is being able to speak to someone who's in a dire strait, who needs to hear something positive. Because if you're looking with your eye gate, you don't see things positive around you. So what can pull a person out of this situation? It's called a higher power. He is a higher power. He gives you that vision, beyond vision, to be able to see, even in a dark place, some light through a tunnel. Right. But we can't do that because we so gloomy ourselves. So somebody will call me very hypocritical and they go like, well, man, you just got through doing this. Excuse me, shit. You might find me doing a lot of things I ain't supposed to do because God ain't through with me yet. Right. Okay? And then at the same time, believe this. If you're a person that ain't perfect, you can speak to another person that's imperfect. A perfect person can't talk to somebody that's imperfect because they be like, you got it together already. It's too hard, okay? It's like me hanging around, who the skinniest person is? Me hanging around with the skinny person talking about I'm gonna lose weight. And I'm looking at the skinny person like, man, that's gonna be too hard for me to lose that, you know. But if I hang around somebody got a little weight on them, it might encourage me. I can do that. But what you doing skinny, I can't do skinny.
Absolutely. Well, we definitely appreciate you for coming up. We know you gotta go. We appreciate you. Yeah, on the scene, baby. Okay, I'm getting it
Okay,
together.
that's what I'm talking
Yeah, so moving forward, what can we expect from the King of House? What do you have going on? What do you have in the works?
At present, I'm getting ready to open up the House Music Museum and Hall of Fame in Chicago. So the big announcement will come October 3rd. I'm doing the Universal Soul Circus, and they are donating proceeds to the Museum and
Oh
Hall
my
of Fame.
gosh! Wow! Yes,
And then
yes.
to top that off, then God is so awesome. Then He blessed me with the trademark to open up the Steppers Museum and Hall of Fame as well.
What?
So I will be doing both of those, and then I'm opening up the House Music Store in 2 weeks, 1518 East 63rd Street.
Go ahead.
Yes.
So God is allowing me to be a nice canoe. You know, He's allowing me to do.
Absolutely. And then longevity. I mean, you've been out in this game for a long time, and you've had your trials and tribulations, you
Yes.
had your victories. You know, what is the key to your longevity, to be out here, to be able to minister, to be able to tell your story, and to still be out here, all that good stuff.
Well, again, it goes back to God, because the Bible tells us that my strength comes from the Lord.
Absolutely.
So when I get discouraged, because let nobody not lie to you, every human being lives with a level of depression.
Mm-hmm.
Every
I
human
agree.
being. Every human being.
Yes.
And if someone doesn't acknowledge that, you can get help for yourself.
Right.
Thank God I never had to go nowhere to get no help for anything, nothing like that. So, and then at the same time, I've been married 3 times. This little chick over here is the 3rd one. And it just so happens that we connect spiritually.
Yes.
So since we connect spiritually, believe me, she was just looking out the window before we got here. So, but with God, when she looked out the window, then sometimes we go, oh Lord Jesus, and we back on pace.
Right.
See, without that, the first 2 marriages couldn't exist because I wasn't saved.
Right.
Oh Lord, was I not saved? I was
There you
not
go.
saved. Okay, I was married, but I wasn't saved. Okay,
But you was in training.
You was in training?
I was in
There you
training.
go.
Well, yeah, you can put it like that, because the reason why, let me speak to you for a minute. Why do you say I was in training?
Because you have to live and learn.
Mm-hmm.
So in order to live and learn, you gotta live it. So
Mhm.
with your marriages, you first, hey, you live that, you had this experience, so now you learn. You go to the second one, you live that, you learn, and now the third one, you got it.
Okay,
And now you
that's-
get the piece of the puzzle in, because you probably in the first 2 marriages didn't have God. So now this third one, hey, that's what I need in order to survive this marriage.
That's
So
good.
you were in training.
Evangelist, what's your name? Evangelist. Deacon is over here, and evangelist. So yeah, you hitting it, because see, look, in order to be able to see what my wrongs were, I had to go through them. And then I told her I would not take from those first 2 marriages and bring it to this marriage, because I learned. And I learned what not to say to her because of the first one. Even though the other ones made me say what I said. If this one tried, at any given time, when that trial and tribulation comes, if she tried to do that, I would still hold my tongue. Because see, those words, people have a remembrance for words.
Right.
And words cut.
Yes.
So it's so important for me to bleed and bite my tongue. If I want to say something wrong, don't say it, because she ain't going to forget it.
Right.
And then the next time we try to have sex, it's going to be a problem.
Right. Remember what you said. Exactly.
It's a powerful thing.
All right.
It's like fire if you don't use it right.
Come on, now I'm late. Y'all got me. You get me talking, I got too much in. I talk
All right.
day.
Well, hey, give it up for the King.
I'm just
Hit
saying,
us with that house music play.
now this is how it started. My dreams are done.
Hey,
I love it.
Never been the same.
My dreams are working hard and never want you. Will never be the same, and could you bring more to the game than I love you?
Come on, shake it up.
They say we were an item, I try to hide them till I leave you. But when you get on to it, you know what I do it.